Hello, I think I am live. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you. If you are there, can you all hear me? That's the first thing I guess I need to work out. So, if you are watching now and you are able to quickly give me a little comment, I can try and see if the comments pop up on my screen. That way, I can definitely know people can hear me. So that would be good if someone can put a little comment saying I can hear you, and I'll see where comments appear on YouTube Live. This is the first time I've done this. It's really dark as well. I might need to quickly go and turn a light on. Comments are turned off. Cheers for the message, Luch. I don't know how to edit that right now. I probably should have looked into that before it started. But that's fine because we're not going to use the comments for the quiz itself. You're going to need a pen and paper or a whiteboard to write down your answers, and you can, if you're using a whiteboard, just wipe them off again and go. We'll start in a couple of minutes. We'll let a few more people get on. I can see there's 5 people currently on, or 5 groups, 5 families. So we'll give it a few more moments, let a few more people get on. Then I'll explain all the rules and explain, how it's going to work for this evening. Okay, whilst we're waiting for people, I'm just going to have a little look, see if I can turn the comments on whilst we are currently live. So bear with me. Let's see what that does. Okay, doesn't look like I can edit that right now. So we'll just give it, like I said, give it a little moment, see if we can get a few more people on watching. I think, like I said, we've got 5 people viewing at the moment. I know there's going to be about 7 or 8, I think, who have said they're definitely in for playing. So obviously it's only 2 minutes past. We'll see how we go. It's a bit annoying, actually, that you can't talk back with me. I was hoping that in this time you guys could have asked me some questions. I could find out how everyone is. I hope you're all well. I hope everyone is being able to keep as active as possible from the confinements of our own homes. I know I'm going a bit stir crazy. I've been out in my little garden, kicking a ball against a rebound net every day for about half an hour to an hour, just doing basic one-touch volleys and stuff like that to keep myself active. I've seen that lots of you have nice grassy spaces to go out and play in and practice your skills and tricks, which is amazing. I wish I had that space, but my little townhouse, we've only got a little patio. So it's a bit more difficult for me, which is a shame. 7 people on live now. Excellent. We're getting there. We're getting somewhere. So the way the quiz is going to work, I will go over it again in a couple of minutes' time in case we get a few more people come on. But we are going to have questions for children who are aged 5 to 8 years old. And then we're going to have another question for someone who is aged 9 to 12 years old. And then another question for 13 through to adults. Okay. So what that means is that there's going to be obviously different difficulty levels. So if you are younger, the questions will be set for your difficulty, for what I expect you to be able to know. And obviously for your older parents, questions that you guys should know the answer to as well. Quite simply, in between each question, I'm going to give the answer. So I'll ask the question for the 5 to 8 year olds, give them a few seconds to answer it, and then I'll give the answer before moving on to the 9 to 12 year old question. Let them have a few moments to answer, give the answer myself, and then move on to the 13 plus question. You need to keep track of your own score, and you're just playing against the people in the room with you. So, make a note. It's going to be out of 15. So you're going to have 15 rounds, 1 question in each round per age group, and we're going to see who gets the most. A good thing with the comments being turned off is no one's going to be commenting in the answers. They're all on my phone as well. So those of you that do have my contact info, if I'm going too fast, please just quickly send me a little message and I'll slow down. I do have a tendency to start talking quickly. Okay, I see someone just messaged me now saying that the content's for kids and that's why comments are disabled. I did set it up specifically for children on the thing because I was hoping, because it is for children, I just thought, yeah, I'd select that as the reason. Right, well, I think it's gone back down to 5 people. We did have 7 at one time, so we'll see how it goes now if people are dropping in and out. But we're going to start the quiz. So I hope that everybody is ready. You've got a pen and paper. or a whiteboard or something you can write down and show everyone. So the way it is going to work is I want you to show everyone your answer or tell everyone your answer if you've got no one else in your age group. And then everyone knows whether you got it right or wrong, basically. And then, we'll keep moving it through. Okay, so each of the topics, each of the round is a different football-related topic. Okay, I'll ask each question twice before giving you a little bit of time to answer. So round one is about the England national football team. Okay, so a question for the 5 to 8 year olds. How many lions are there on the England badge? Okay, so that's how many lions are on the England badge. So I'd like you to write your answer down. Once you've got your answer, show the other players in the group. Wait until multiple people have answered if they are in your age group. Okay, so wait till everyone in your age group has answered in your house before showing it. So the question was, how many lions are on the England badge? Okay, I'll give you a few more seconds to get your answer down if you haven't got it already. And you can give yourselves a point if you answered 3. There are 3 lions on the England national team badge. So the question for 9 to 12 year olds now. What year did England win the World Cup? Okay, so that was what year did England win the World Cup? So a few more seconds to answer that question. Hopefully, it's one that everyone should know, but we'll see by your answers at the end. Okay, so the answer to that question, so round one for 9 to 12 year olds was, what year did England win the World Cup? The answer is, of course, 1966. So in round one, so England national team, question for 13 plus. This is, so this question, who is England's national team record goal scorer? Okay, so what player has scored the most goals for the England national team? Okay, I'll give you a few more seconds to answer that. So that's for anyone who's 13 years or older. And the answer, I'll give you a little bit longer, little bit longer, because that is a tough one for some people. That was quite a tough question. The answer is Wayne Rooney. So if you put Wayne Rooney, give yourself 1 point and a tick there for that one. And that's round one done. Okay, so that was one question for each age group. And we're going to add up your score as you go. Okay, and then hopefully by the end, you'll have a score out of 15. There's going to be 15 rounds of how many you score. Okay. Round two, moving on. Okay, so round two is all about the Premier League. Okay, so for children aged 5 to 8, how many teams are there in the Premier League each season? Okay, so that was how many teams are there in the Premier League each season? Okay, so hopefully you managed to put an answer down for that. Question for 5 to 8 year olds in round two, how many teams are in the Premier League each season? The answer is 20. There are 20 teams that play each season in the Premier League. Question in round two for children aged 9 to 12. How many different teams have won the Premier League? Now, that is quite a tricky question. So, how many different teams have won the Premier League? Okay. So we'll give you the answer for that one now. So for 9 to 12 year olds, your question, how many different teams have won the Premier League? The answer is 6. 6 different teams have won the Premier League. Okay. Question 13. Question for 13 years old and above in round two, all about the Premier League. What year did the Premier League begin? Now, obviously, the season goes across 2 years, so I'll give you either of the two. Okay, it's a little bit of leeway. The season that started in 1 year and finished in the other, if you give me either, I will allow it. Okay, so question for 13 year olds and above, what year did the Premier League begin? Obviously, bearing in mind it was the first division, but when it became the Premier League, that's the year I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm going to give you the answer for that one now. So for that 13 plus question, what year did the Premier League begin? The answer is 1992-93 season. So if you've got either of those dates, I will allow you to have the point. So you can give yourselves a tick and a point for that one if you got that one correct in round 2. Okay, and we'll be moving on into round 3. So round 3 is all about the Champions League. Okay, so the Champions League is going to be the basis for this round. So we're going to get straight in with the 5 to 8-year-old question. On the football, okay, for the Champions League use, it's made by Adidas, but what shape is iconic to the Champions League football? So what shape pattern do we see all over the Champions League footballs? So again, that was the question for 5 to 8-year-olds. What shape is iconic to a Champions League football? Okay, hopefully you got your answer down there. All right, that should be one that lots of our football fans should know. Okay, so hopefully you got this one. What shape is iconic to a Champions League football? The answer is, of course, a star. Okay. And question for 9 to 12-year-olds. How many teams are there in a Champions League group? So during the group stages, how many teams are in each group? Okay, I'll give you a few seconds to answer that one. Okay, so as you're having a little think, so obviously you play every team in your group home and away, but how many teams are there in each group? The answer to that question for the 9 to 12-year-olds in round 3 is 4. There are 4 teams in each group. Okay, so 13 plus. Question for the 13 plus in round 3, all about Champions League. Who has won the most Champions League titles? Okay, they by far and away have the most, this club. Okay, so who has won the most Champions League titles? I'll give you a little tip. Okay, a little hint on this one. They're not English. So if you don't know the answer, it's not an English club. Okay, so don't guess an English club. So that question for the 13 plus, who has won the most Champions League titles? The answer is Real Madrid. Okay, Real Madrid have won the most Champions League titles. Moving on into round 4. Again, if I'm going too quickly, guys, someone please just send me a little text and I will slow myself down. Going into round 4, this is all about the World Cup. Okay, World Cup history, recent and past. Okay, the most recent history, and we're going back a long way with a bit of it as well. So the question about the World Cup in round 4 for the 5 to 8-year-olds is, what country hosted the last World Cup? Okay, so the last World Cup has just been a couple of years ago now. What country hosted it? Where did matches take place? Okay, so I'll give you a few seconds to answer this one. So what country hosted the last World Cup? Spelling doesn't matter, boys and girls, as well. Obviously, if you're 5 to 8 years old, I'm not too worried with your spelling if you don't get it right, as long as the people in the room know what you were trying to put down. The answer is, of course, Russia. Okay, the last World Cup was hosted by Russia. Question for 9 to 12-year-olds about the World Cup. Now, what brand make the World Cup footballs? Okay, so I'm a big football nerd. I love everything about the football itself. I love everything about football boots, everything about brands. I'm a big football nerd. So this is one of my favorite ever footballs, was made for the World Cup. It was called a Tango, without giving away the brand who make it. Okay, but it was my favorite looking ever football. So question for round 4 for the 9 to 12-year-olds was, what brand make the World Cup footballs? The answer is Adidas. Okay, so if you put Adidas down, give yourselves a point for that one, 9 to 12-year-olds. Question for 13 plus in round 4. How many World Cups have Brazil won? Okay, so in the World Cup history, how many World Cups have Brazil won? Now, every time you win a World Cup, you get a little star put above your badge. Okay, so that's why above the England crest, there is 1 star, because obviously we've won that 1 World Cup in 66. But how many have Brazil won? I'm going to give you a little clue now, actually, if you haven't, because again, I think this could be quite a tough one for some people who are 13. It's an option: 5, 7, or 9. How many World Cups have Brazil won? Okay, now giving you those options, hopefully you managed to pick one of the 3. The answer to the 13 plus question, how many World Cups have Brazil won, is 5. They have won 5 World Cups. That's the most in history of any club, of any country, sorry. That is how many World Cups they have won. Okay, moving on. Round 5, all about 2 of the greatest football players of our current generation. Okay, this round is titled Messi v Ronaldo. Big debate on who's better, Messi v Ronaldo. You've got people on both sides. I'm not going to tell you what side of the fence I sit on because I don't want to make this round bias. Okay, but round 5, question for the 5 to 8-year-olds. Which one between Messi and Ronaldo, so which one of the players was first to win a Ballon d'Or? Okay, so a Ballon d'Or, if you don't know, is the trophy given out by FIFA. It's a golden football sitting on like a mineral base. It's a golden football which they give out to the player who was voted by other people, other players, other professionals, managers, and journalists to be the best player that year. Okay, so which of Messi or Ronaldo was the first to win a Ballon d'Or? The answer, Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay, question for 9 to 12-year-olds. Which out of the 2 legends that are Messi and Ronaldo have scored more goals for their country? Okay, so more goals, that's friendlies and competitive internationals, but which one has scored more goals for their country? Is it Ronaldo for Portugal or Messi for Argentina? Okay, so which one of these 2 between Messi and Ronaldo has scored more goals for their country? The answer is Ronaldo. He has scored more goals for his country. Okay, so the question in round 5 of Messi v Ronaldo for 13 years old and above. Which of these players had a greater goal-to-game ratio? Okay, so who's scored, who has a better ratio of how many games it takes them to score a goal? Okay, so who has a better goal-to-game ratio between Messi and Ronaldo? Give you a few seconds to have a think, to have a pick. Messi or Ronaldo, Messi or Ronaldo, Ronaldo or Messi. Which one of these players has got a greater goal-to-game ratio? The answer, you can give yourself a point if you said Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi has a greater goal-to-game ratio. Okay. So that's the first 5 rounds done. Okay. Hopefully we scored a few points. And we'll be moving on into round 6. Now, the next few rounds are all about different positions. Okay, so different positions on the football pitch. Round 6 is all about the goalkeeper. Okay, crucial part of any football team, a goalkeeper. If you have the turn to go in goal when it's for your team, okay, it's super important. Super important, the goalkeeper. So let's see if we can get some answers here correct about stats and facts with goalkeepers. So, question for 5 to 8-year-olds. How many goalkeepers are usually in a professional team's match day squad? So to give you a bit more info on that question, basically, if the 2 teams playing in the Premier League, okay, how many goalkeepers are in their squad on a match day? Okay, not just start the game, but how many are in their squad usually? It does, sometimes it changes, but normally 99 times out of 100, okay, how many goalkeepers are in a match day squad? Okay, now you've had to think about that, 5 to 8-year-olds. The answer for how many goalkeepers are usually in a professional team's match day squad is 2. You normally have the goalkeeper who starts the game, Okay, and then you'll have the sub goalkeeper as well. Very, very rarely do teams not choose a sub goalkeeper, and just as rarely, they sometimes have a third one, but 99 times out of 100, they'll have their starting goalkeeper and a sub goalkeeper. So 2 goalkeepers are normally in a match day squad. Question for 9 to 12-year-olds. The question for 9 to 12-year-olds is, are goalkeepers allowed to score from a kick out of their hands? Okay, so that is in any level of football. Are goalkeepers allowed to catch the ball, drop it, kick it off straight out of their hands, and score a goal? Okay, so have a little think about it. So the goalkeeper makes a save, catches it, or picks it up off the floor when it's rolling towards him or her, and they go out to the edge of their box, they drop it and do a big kick up pitch. It might bounce, it might go all the way with wind, but if it goes in, does it count? Are they allowed to score? The answer is, in fact, no. They are not allowed to score straight from their hands. Okay. Question for 13-plus-year-olds. Okay. Anyone older than 13 in round 6. All about goalkeepers. A tough one, actually. This is a tough one. Can you name one goalkeeper that has scored in the Premier League? Okay. So that could be from a direct free kick. That could be from a header if they went up for a corner or a free kick towards the end of the game. Okay. It could be when the ball was passed around the team, passed back to the goalkeeper, and they've kicked it long and then it's gone in. Those would all count because it's not from their hands. But can you name one goalkeeper that has scored in the Premier League? Now, there is actually 5 correct answers to this question. I'm going to give you a few more seconds to have a think about it. Choose the goalkeeper that you think has scored in the Premier League. Okay. Answers. You could have potentially had Peter Schmeichel, Brad Friedel, Paul Robinson, Tim Howard, or Asmir Begovic. Okay. They have all scored Premier League goals. And in fact, there was one, I think it was either last season or the very beginning of this season, the Watford goalkeeper against Chelsea. So it was Ben Foster come up for a free kick. It got flicked on at the near post. Ben Foster's headed it, but the Chelsea goalkeeper, the Yohan Kepa, just tipped it around the post, and we nearly had a 6th Premier League goalkeeper scoring. Round 7 is all about defenders. Okay, so if we're ready, we're going to move on to round 7 and the defenders. So, question for 5 to 8-year-olds. What is the actual name for the position CB? Okay, so you might see it on video games, you might see it on tactic board that your managers might show to you, or that I've shown to you for this age. But this letters CB, they represent a position in the defense. But what position is that? Okay, so I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. The letters CB, what position do they represent? And the answer for that one is, of course, centre-back. So C for centre, B for back. They play in the middle of the defence. There's normally 2 centre-backs, and then you have your full-backs right and left side. Okay, with your goalkeeper behind. But CB is one of the 2 centre-backs. Round 7, question for 9 to 12-year-olds. Which defender left Chelsea in 2017 after being their captain for 13 years? Okay, so he was their captain for 13 whole years, and he left in 2017. I think this is one of those questions that if you know, you know, and if you don't, you won't. Okay, but so I'll give you the answer for this one. Which defender left Chelsea in 2017 after being their captain for 13 years? The answer is John Terry. So the question in round 7 of defenders for 13-plus-year-olds. Now we're looking at the Russia World Cup that's just been. Who was the defender who scored for England in the World Cup semi-final in defeat to Croatia? Okay, so when we lost to Croatia in the semi-final, who scored the free kick? So that question once more. Who was the defender who scored for England in the World Cup semi-final defeat to Croatia? The answer, Kieran Trippier. Okay, so Kieran Trippier, he was playing for Tottenham at the time, scored a free kick in, I think it was the 5th minute of the game, and made everyone in the country so excited. But unfortunately, we did go on to lose to Croatia in that semi-final. Moving on, moving up the pitch, round 8 is about midfielders. Okay, so first question in round 8 for 5 to 8-year-olds. Who is the French central midfielder that wears the number 6 for Manchester United? All you Manchester United fans out there must be happy with this question. One that you definitely know. Those of you that aren't Man United fans, I hope you can you have an idea. Okay, very famous player at the moment. Who is the French central midfielder who wears the number 6 for Manchester United? The answer is Paul Pogba. Okay, so if you put Pogba or Paul Pogba, give yourself a point. Okay. Question in midfield for 9 to 12-year-olds. Which ex-Liverpool central midfielder is now the manager of the Scottish Premier League team Rangers? Okay, so which ex-Liverpool central midfielder is now the manager for the Scottish Premier League side Rangers? And the answer, of course, Steven Gerrard. Okay, one of my favourite midfielders growing up. Loved watching him play. You can use YouTube to go and watch some of his highlights. Incredible strike. Volley technique is incredible. Great player. Question number 13. Okay, oh, sorry, not number 13. Question for 13-plus-year-olds in the midfielders round 8. Who is missing from this iconic Barcelona midfield trio? Busquets, Xavi, and blank. Who is that third player in the iconic central midfield department for Barcelona? Okay, doesn't play for them anymore. This is back when they were managed by Pep Guardiola, when they were amazing, best team in Europe by far. Who is missing from the iconic Barcelona midfield trio of Busquets, Xavi, and Iniesta? Oh, that's the answer. Busquets and Xavi. The answer is Iniesta. Okay. Round 9, strikers, my position. So, question for 5 to 8-year-olds. This might be a bit tough for some of you. What club does the striker Jamie Vardy play for? Okay. So what club does he play for in the Premier League? That's a little hint. They are in the Premier League. So what club does the striker Jamie Vardy play for? The answer, Leicester. Okay, so the answer is Leicester City. He plays for the Foxes. Question in round 9 for the 9 to 12-year-olds. There was a 3-way tie for the Golden Boot in 2018-2019 season. So in the last season, there was a 3-way tie for the highest goal scorer, the top goal scorer. But can you name one of the 3 players that shared the prize? So the question again for 9 to 12-year-olds, there was a 3-way tie for the Golden Boot in the 2018-19 Premier League season. Name one of the players that shared the prize. And you can give yourselves a point if you said Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah, or Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. They all tied top goal scorer. If you got spellings wrong, don't worry. Aubameyang, I can't even spell it. I call him P-E-A-P, okay, because Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. That's what I've written down. So as long as you got one of their names right or close enough, we'll give yourselves a point there. Okay, for 13 plus in round 9 of strikers, which striker holds the record with 260 Premier League goals? So which striker has scored 260 Premier League goals? Okay, I'll give you a few more seconds on that one. Absolutely amazing record. I know a few players are chasing it. I don't know if it will be beaten anytime soon, though. The answer for that question for the 13 plus in round 9 of strikers: which striker holds the record with 260 Premier League goals? The answer is, of course, Alan Shearer. Round 10 is all about managers. Okay, so question for 5 to 8-year-olds. Who is the current Tottenham Hotspur manager? Okay, so we'll give you that question once more. Who is the current Tottenham Hotspur manager? Again, don't worry with spelling, boys and girls. I'm not expecting you to know how to spell this person's name, but if you can get it close enough, or just say it aloud to people in your group when you show the answer. Okay, the answer to the current Tottenham Hotspur manager is Jose Mourinho. Okay. So if you said Jose Mourinho, you can give yourself a point. I hope you're keeping track. Okay, this is round 10. So that was the 10th question for the 5 to 8-year-olds. We're moving on to the 10th question for the 9 to 12-year-olds. What legendary manager was at Manchester United from 1986 to 2013? Okay, so which legendary manager was at Manchester United from 1986 to 2013? Okay, and I'll be giving you the answer for that very shortly. So a manager, Manchester United, famous, legend. The answer, Sir Alex Ferguson. So Alex Ferguson was manager of Manchester United from 1986 to 2013. Question for 13-plus-year-olds about managers in round 10. How many clubs has Pep Guardiola managed? Okay, now I have mentioned one of the clubs actually in this video, so I might have given it a little hint. Okay, but how many clubs has Pep Guardiola managed? Okay, having a little think about that. Pep Guardiola obviously is one of the greatest managers around at the moment. He's won an amazing amount of trophies everywhere he's been. I think that he would have definitely won another one this season where he is currently at the club he's at. But unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to happen now. But this man, he's a great manager. I love looking into his work. The answer to how many clubs has Pep Guardiola managed? The answer is 3. He's managed Barcelona. We started off at Barcelona B, but Barcelona was still the same club. Then Bayern Munich, and he's currently at Manchester City. Okay. Round 11, stadiums. Okay. So 5 to 8-year-olds. Might be a bit of a tough question. Okay. In fact, they might all be quite tough, but we'll see if anyone can score any points during round 11. 5 to 8-year-olds. Who play at the stadium called the Etihad Stadium? So who play at the Etihad Stadium? What team? Okay, so what team play at the Etihad Stadium? I'll give you a few more seconds to think about that one and give me an answer. Or write your answer down and show it off to the rest of the group. Okay, giving you the answer now. Hopefully you're ready. Who play at the Etihad Stadium? The answer is Manchester City. Okay, so Manchester City play at the Etihad. I had the pleasure of going there earlier this season to watch a game. I watched them play against Crystal Palace. Really nice stadium. Looks amazing. Great view from where I was in the top tier. I like sitting up there so I can see like the whole pitch without having to move my body as the game goes. We sort of try and sit as central as we can to the halfway line. Amazing experience around the stadium beforehand as well. Lots of things going on, lots of activities. Really good place to go and watch some football. Question for 9 to 12-year-old. What team play at Vicarage Road? Again, quite a tough one. But what team play at Vicarage Road? And I'm hoping some of you 9 to 12-year-olds out there, a bit like me when I was your age, loved knowing as much as they could about different clubs. I could have told you every single Premier League stadium, most Championship stadiums when I was about 10, 11. So hopefully some of you will know this, but the question again for 9 to 12-year-olds, who plays at Vicarage Road? The answer is Watford. Okay, Vicarage Road is the home of Watford Football Club. Question for the 13 plus group in round 11 of stadiums. Who play at Selhurst Park? Okay, I'll say that again. Who play their games at Selhurst Park? All right, so Selhurst Park is the home stadium for which club? Okay, hopefully you've all got an answer down. The team who play at Selhurst Park, the answer is Crystal Palace. Okay, so Crystal Palace play their home games at Selhurst Park. Again, hopefully I'm not going too quick. Hopefully you're managing to get an answer down if you have an idea of the answer. But we're going to now move on to round 12. This round is all about the Championship, so the current second division in English football. Question for 5 to 8-year-olds. How many teams play in the Championship each season? Okay, so I'll give you that once more. How many teams play in the Championship each season? And the answer to how many teams play in the Championship each season is 24. Okay, 24 teams take part in the Championship each season. Question for 9 to 12-year-olds. How many teams get promoted? Sorry, 2 teams get promoted automatically to the Premier League from the Championship. Okay, but how do we decide the 3rd team that get promoted? Okay, so the top 3 teams go up. The top 2 of them go up automatically. But we have a way of finding out who the 3rd team to get promoted is each season. I don't know if I've worded that question very well or not, but who is, or how do we work out the 3rd team to get promoted? Okay, so the answer to that is through the playoffs. So we have a playoff between the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th teams, where 6th play against 3rd, 5th play against 4th. Okay, you play them at home and then you play them away, or obviously vice versa. And it's an aggregate score across the 2 games. Okay, so if out of the 2 games, the winner of each then go to the final, which is played at Wembley, and the winner of the playoff final get promoted to the Premier League. So that could be the team that finished 6th in the league season, still get promoted to the Premier League along with the top 2. So, question about the Championship for the 13 plus age group out there. I was a Reading fan as a child growing up. I had the pleasure of working for the club as well, and I was a huge fan during this season. So Reading hold the record for the most points in a Championship season with over 100 points. So it was more than 100 points. But how many did they get exactly? Okay, so I'll say that again. Reading Football Club hold the record for the most points in a Championship season with over 100. But how many points did they get exactly? The answer, 106. Okay, so Reading hold the record with 106 points in a single season. Round 13, okay, getting close to the end now. Round 13 is all about transfers, okay? So that's when players are allowed to go from one club to another. Okay, we call that a transfer. Question for 5 to 8-year-olds. How many transfer windows are there each year? Okay, so in each year, each calendar year or each season, it's the same answer. How many transfer windows are there? So that is the period of time when players are allowed to move clubs. Okay, so hopefully you're all thinking of an answer. Obviously, it's a number. So how many transfer windows are there each year? The answer is 2. There is a summer window, which is often, which is a longer window. And there is a winter transfer window in It's all throughout January. Okay, so that starts on New Year's Day. Okay, runs through to the end of January. Question in round 13 for 9 to 12-year-olds. Who is the world's most expensive teenager, costing a whopping 145 million euros? Okay, so I'll say that again. Who is the world's most expensive teenager, costing a whopping 145 million euros? Okay, so I'll give you the answer to this. This is a wonder kid who, as a teenager, was transferred from Monaco to PSG in France, or in the French league, and that is Kylian Mbappe. So Kylian Mbappe is the world's most expensive midfielder, costing a whopping 145 million euros. Question for the 13-plus-year-olds in round 13 of transfers. Who is the most expensive defender in the world? Okay, so a player who's had a transfer, most expensive defender in the world. Again, this could be an extremely hard question for some people. In fact, most people. I think this is a very tough question, full stop. Who is the most expensive defender in the world? The answer is Harry Maguire. Okay, the England international transferred from Leicester to Manchester United. Not 100% sure on the fee. I don't have that saved up in my notes, but I think it was between 70 and 80 million pounds for Harry Maguire. Round 14. We're going on to the rules in the professional game of football. Okay, so this isn't the rules for the boys and girls who play in our clubs, in our team, in the teams within our club or at mini soccer. It's not the rules that we play. It's the rules that professional footballers play to. Okay. So the question for 5 to 8-year-olds. How many players start the match? Again, that's for professional players. So don't think about the football that you play. Don't think about how many people are on your pitch. Think about the professional teams that you get to watch either live or on telly. Okay, adult football. How many players start the match for each team? The answer is 11. Okay, 11 players per side. Question for 9 to 12-year-olds in round 14, sorry. How many yards away from the goal is the penalty spot? Again, this is in professional football. This is for adult football, okay? Even in video games, FIFA, PES, they all have this exact same rule as well. How many yards away from the goal is the penalty spot? And the answer is 12 yards. Okay, penalty spot is 12 yards away from the goal in all professional football. Question for 13+ years old in round 14. Can you be offside from a throw-in? Okay, so when the ball's gone offside of the pitch, it's thrown for your team. Throw it forward, you're attacking. Can your teammates be classed as offside from a throw-in? Yes or no answer? The answer to can you be offside from a throw-in is no. You cannot be offside from a throw-in. One of the few times in the game of football where in professional for men and women, it doesn't matter. You're not offside. If the ball is just thrown onto the pitch, you can be stood in what would usually be an offside position and receive the ball, and game will just flow on from there. So the last round, okay. Last round, round 15. This is all about famous shirt numbers. Okay. Question for 5 to 8-year-olds. What number does Lionel Messi wear for Barcelona? I'll repeat that question once more. What shirt number does Lionel Messi wear for Barcelona? So make sure you're letting everyone know your answer there in your group. Okay. The answer to what number does Messi wear for Barcelona is 10. Okay. Very famous. Lionel Messi wears the number 10 shirt. Question for 9 to 12-year-olds. Talking about an ex-footballer here. What number did Frank Lampard wear when he played for Chelsea? Okay, so again, very famous player, great player. What number did he wear, though, when he played for Chelsea? The answer is number 8. Frank Lampard wore the number 8 shirt for Chelsea. Final question of the whole entire quiz. Question for the 13-plus-year-old in the round 15 famous shirt numbers. What number did Thierry Henry wear when he played for Arsenal the first time round? I'm not 100% sure on his return whether he picked up the same number. Don't think he did. But what number is he famous for wearing when he was at Arsenal? Okay, so what number did Thierry Henry wear for Arsenal? The answer is 14. Thierry Henry wore the number 14 shirt when he played for Arsenal. So that is the end of the quiz. I hope you all took track of your score. Compare against the people within your household who won. Okay, so it could be the 5 to 8 year old. They could have answered, they could have got 15 out of 15 right. And everyone else in the group might have only got 8 or 9. Okay, we might have had people scoring less than others. And that's how we're going to get our winners. Okay, so it's just amongst yourselves. Don't need you to be overly competitive with it. But if you do want to share it around with your friends and let them know what you scored, and then they can watch the video and try and beat you, because hopefully I'll get this video to just save to the channel afterwards. And other people can have a go at it if they didn't catch it live. But yeah, that'd be great. Let me know what you scored. I'm quite interested as well. Let me know if any of the questions were too difficult or not. Hopefully I can get the comments turned on once I've come off the video, and you might be able to leave it in there. If not, just send me a little text or WhatsApp and we'll have a conversation about it. But yeah, hopefully this went well. I'm sorry about the comments not working. That would have been great to have had a conversation with you and not just talk to you. But I don't think it was a bad first effort, really. So thank you very much for watching. Look out for the videos coming out Saturday morning. Okay, we've got another one coming for each age group this Saturday. Share it around with your friends. Let them know the idea. Obviously, don't share the actual video, but let them know that we're going to be that we do the videos, send it out. We haven't had that much uptake recently. Okay, it started off quite well, but no one else has really joined on to the program in the last week or so. So thank you very much for watching again. And don't forget to give everything a big thumbs up, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel. See you all again soon. Goodbye.